There will not be a magic day when we wake up and it's now okay to express ourselves publicly. We make that day by doing things publicly until it's simply the way things are. Opening words by Tammy Baldwin. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our celebratory Pride service this morning. We also welcome those who are joining us online, live, and we also welcome those who are asleep, who will be watching this later on in the week when they wake up again. If you're new here for the first time this morning, a very warm welcome. We are an inclusive faith all year round, not just at Pride. And we put our faith not just on a flag, but in the actions that we take every day in this church to ensure that all are not only welcome here, but can bring themselves here and be part of a spiritual community that has no hidden dogma or creed that will exclude us. Let us speak today of wholeness. You are welcome here, all of you, every part of you. You do not need to be something more or something less. You do not need to change anything about yourself to be welcome here. You are extraordinary. Each and every one of you, different in your own beautiful way. So let us come and worship together this morning. In our Unitarian tradition, we will light our chalice. The following words are from Linda Franson, and it's called The Pride Flame. We light this flame to ignite our hearts and minds, the spark of knowledge that enlightens, the shimmering hope that burns, the blazing love that engulfs our actions, the bonfire of our commitment. We light this flame to celebrate our kaleidoscope of diversity, working, loving, and living on the side of love. For this, we light our flame. So let us come together in a moment of prayer together. I use the word God, but please use something that resonates with you. That could be spirit, wisdom, I have no idea, nature or love. God of all love, divine light of wisdom, we know you by many names, and some names are not known at all, because your mystery and complexity are boundless. Likewise, we have many names for our sexual and gender identities. We give thanks for this diversity. We acknowledge that at times we fall short of honouring that diversity. Help us to honour all and to create a world where everyone can live with authenticity and dignity. May it be so. We sing our first hymn together, 176, they're all in the Green Book this morning, and it's Come Together in Love. Joe, you play the first? Yeah. Joe will play it once through for us. When you meet a person who is LGBTQI+, you immediately know that there was a time when they realised they were different. There were decisions that they had to make about whom to tell and how to be in the world. In a world that until a few years ago didn't have a place for them. And still, in some areas, they still have no place. Our readings and address this morning are about some of these stories. Our first is an edited version of an essay that's called We're Right Here, and it's by Reverend Teresa Isoto. My parents found Unitarianism in '91 when I was 6. My dad is the son and grandson of a Presbyterian minister, and my mum was raised as a devout atheist. The family joke is that when they joined a Unitarian church, my dad's family said, "Oh no, he's lost religion," and my mum's family said, "Oh no, she's found religion." I was raised to question everything that was presented by society as normal in my life, including the expectation that I was a girl who would grow up to be straight. I was taught to honour my own truth. I was taught that my truth was true, even if it didn't line up with what I was told. So when I was 13, I wondered what my truth was. I began thinking of myself as bi-ish, then bi, then pan, then queer. I was blessed with the space to simply allow my truth to be true, even though that truth changed over time. My journey wasn't linear. There were half-truths, until I found the one truth about who I was. That doesn't negate who I was when I was 6, 16 or 26. All of these truths are true. My gender is a story of many truths. Although the word genderqueer in the 90s, I didn't really understand what it meant, and I didn't have many role models. I was excessively feminine and masculine all at once, drawn to theatre and drag and art, understanding my body as intimate as foreign, as a canvas for expression. I made choices one by one that brought me closer to ease, closer to myself. I was born outside the closet thanks to generations of fierce ancestors who paved the way and made this possible for me. Those ancestors were Unitarians. An edit from an essay that is entitled We're Right Here, from the Reverend Teresa Isoto. Sometimes when we gather here, and we haven't done it for a while, we share a simple ritual of lighting a candle. It's an opportunity for you all, if you wish, and there's always a pass option, to light a candle. And that may be quiet prayer or a hope for yourself or something else in the community. Those of you that are watching online, I invite you to sit quietly. If you have a candle at home, to light one. If not, I will light one on your behalf when everyone has lit one in church. So I invite this time, a quiet reflection, for you to come, to light a candle, to offer a private prayer or a blessing. Spirit of life, God of all love, we offer these candles of blessings, of prayers, of joys and concerns. Let us hold them in our hearts while we sit together silently for a few moments. God of wild love and extravagant acceptance, Spirit of boldness and beauty, you are faithfully present in both the grit and glitter of life, and you are present here with us now. Awaken us to your dream for creation, a world in which every member of the human family is free to flourish however you have made them. Forgive us for the moments we have held back, your ever-flowing current of love. Remake us into people eager to see you in the faces, bodies and expressions of all people. Remind us, each of us, to step out of the shadows of our lives and shine fearlessly and courageously. Ignite a divine light within us to sparkle through the prism of our bodies and brighten every corner of this earth. Spirit of life, God of all love, each of us is cherished. Each of us desired. Each of us sacred. May it be so. We come together to sing again number 33 in the Green Book, Do You Hear? Do you hear just when we were singing that hymn, I had to sort of chuckle really through the roar and the rush, which is what it was yesterday. Can you hear? Yeah, there were a few people in here who were very grateful for a little quietness yesterday. The difference of being in here and then out there was extraordinary. It couldn't have been more different. Yeah, that sense of being able to even hear yourself think and breathe yesterday was a joy. Our second reading is called The Sacred Truth by Zeb Green, and it's read by Simon.
So this is The Sacred Truth by Zeb Green, who is a Unitarian Universalist in the USA. It was my first Sunday in the pulpit of the congregation that I serve. I'm not typically a worship leader and felt particularly nervous that Sunday. Not because of preaching, but because it was my first time taking a public role while wearing a skirt and presenting as more feminine. I was raised as a boy. People look at me and see a strong, healthy young man. However, I am gender non-conforming, and people get uncomfortable when what they see doesn't match their expectations. I still come to church with a voice ringing, "Don't rock the boat, be who they want you to be." That voice and conditioning are at odds with everything the faith traditions that I love tell me about myself and my relationship with the divine. The challenge I face is to share the authentic and sacred truth inside of me. That morning, I began the service with, "My name is Zeb Green. My pronouns are they, them. I've got my scraggly beard, brand new skirt, and cute scarf. And I am here to share a word or two about love. It's just who I am." At coffee hour following the service, one of the young people came over to me and said, with so much pride, "I'm a they, them too, and my brother is a he, him." I would have loved it as a kid to have had a church that encouraged us to listen to our heartfelt yearning of self, to express ourselves with authenticity, a church that had adults who modelled those behaviours for us. That's why I work past the inner voice. That's why I risk uncomfortable situations, strange looks, questionable comments, and microaggressions as people figure it all out. Those of the LGBTQ+ community are under attack in this country. The pressure for all of us, especially our young people, is to hide our true selves. The pressure for all of us, especially our young people, is to hide our true selves. I'm so glad that we have a Unitarian faith tradition that embraces multiple paths through life. I'm grateful that I've risked scrutiny to appear as my true self, and deeply touched that in doing so, I've been able to confirm and support the journey of others.
Thank you, Simon. The Sacred Truth by Zeb Green, who went on actually to become a worship leader. He concludes that reading with a few words of prayer. Beloved Spirit, thank you for seeing, knowing, and loving us all in the full mystery and unfolding of our being. Through you we remember that our souls yearning to know our true selves, our true identity and true loves, is stronger than any conditioned voice of doubt. May we be blessed with the grace to support all people, exploring the ever-unfolding journey of self-discovery and pride. Amen and blessed be. Harvey Milk reminds us, if you are not personally free to be yourself in that most important of all human activities, the expression of love, then life itself loses its meaning. Is that the life's task? To be in the flow of love? It's great when it flows. It was flowing yesterday. All around us, sparkly and twinkly and bold and beautiful and loud and quiet and flamboyant and silent. But sometimes that flow gets severed. Many people, many queer people have been told they don't love right, or they can't love, or they aren't loved, or they're unlovable. Families can say that, friends can say that, culture can say that, churches can say that. We can even say that to ourselves. And that's why today, it used to be a day, and now it's a week in Brighton, as we know. It used to be one day, and now it extends and extends. But that's why we celebrate Pride, to declare and proclaim and demand in the face of those who say otherwise, that life does have meaning, and that meaning is love. To say yes to the beautiful diversity of our human family. And that, unfortunately, is more important now than ever before. In a world that swims with tension and division, hate and contempt, reversal of laws. Yesterday, we opened our doors, as many of you know, for Pride. It began very quietly, because everyone was going that way to watch the parade. And there were several of us here going. And I said, it'll be fine, take your rest now. We had a banner outside. We had to take it down this morning because it got slightly drunk as the night went on. But it had Pride blessings on it. And we had the arch outside. People came for photo opportunities. They came in for a wee. They came to have a rest. Free biscuit. They came because they felt welcome. And that was down to a team of people in this church who were willing to stand and say, yes, this is who we are. We're Unitarians. This is what we do. Come and have a look. We won't bite you. Yeah, we marry people. We marry all people. And you are welcome here. The first person that came in the door was Almonso from Nigeria. He came in and he was filming, and then he said, can I tell you something? And I was like, yeah. I think this was 10:30 in the morning. He said, this is my first Pride. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. He said, can I tell you something else? I was like, yeah. He said, I'm coming out today. And he said, you are the first person that I've told. Well, normally I don't cry until the tail end of Pride, and normally it's because I'm exhausted and also quite happy to go home to my quiet world. 10:30, there was me standing there and him standing there, and we were in tears. He went on to tell me he's not welcome as he is in Nigeria. He couldn't possibly go into a church and say that, and yet he came in here and said those words. And he knew nothing about Unitarianism. To me, that illustrates community outreach at its best. To me, some people would say that's mission and evangelism. All we did was open the doors and welcome people into our faith. And he was followed by many different people. A gay couple who'd been together for 17 years had no desire to get married, despite realising that they could here, but wanted a blessing anyway. A couple that had met 4 months ago, a beautiful mix of Eastern European and African American. A couple who'd been married for a year were just beyond excitement. Can we get married again? I went, not today. But you can have a blessing. People from our own church who were celebrating an anniversary. There was a group of young girls who went, can we have a blessing? And I went, yeah. And then they all started to giggle uncontrollably. And I think they were a little bit nervous when I asked, should we just hold hands? And they were like, ooh. And then I looked to my left and one of them was crying. And then we had people who were a little bit tipsy and, oh, we love you. We had it all. But in the centre of that was this church. The doors were open. And not just open a little bit, but like totally open. Come on in. One guy, when he left, he said, I feel more educated. I said, great. Hold on to that, even in the midst of the drunkenness. And I said, what have you learned? He said, well, I've learned that there's somewhere that I can come and belong. I've learned that there's somewhere I can come and get married. And that you're open. And you want us here. I said, why wouldn't we? So when people say, God, we're done with Pride, and I really get it. I think in my little thing that I send out on the newsletter, I said, I know it's difficult. It's loud, it's boisterous, it's drunken, it's messy. If you saw outside this morning, we should have taken a picture of before and after. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you. for clearing up, which was not pleasant this morning. You know, we could go, oh God, no, let's just close the doors, let's run away, come back when it's all over. But actually, if there's one person that came yesterday who goes away having been blessed for completely who they are and knows that there's a church that they can be welcomed in, we have done our job. Earlier on in the service, we listened to a part of an essay by Teresa Soto, saying we are right here now. She talked about the term queer. Can mean many things to many people. It can even be a theological academic discipline, rejecting the idea that normal is worth striving for, that questions everything that is presented as truth. When I read those words, I sort of chuckled to myself and went, well, that's Unitarianism, isn't it? When I started coming to this church, I soon learned that in faith there are many experiences of truth, and that those truths are equally true. I was told that my fate was not predetermined. I could change my mind. Nothing was set in stone. It didn't even matter what I called myself. What was more important was how my actions spoke in the world. We learn here that we can believe in a single God, many gods, or no God at all. We can worship the natural world. We can believe in reincarnation, in good, orderly direction. We believe and learn that our truth and your truth can both be true, even if they contradict each other. At first, this created a real dilemma in my brain. I quite like things to be so. Until I realised that this is what the path is. This is the most powerful theology I can imagine. So in the words of Reverend Teresa, Unitarianism is a queering faith because it questions everything. It upturns what people think of faith and church, engaging in each other's truths, turning social conventions upside down. It means sharing with each other, experiencing the joy and wonder in the differences of who we are. It's honouring each other's truth, because only then we will be free. We have a tough mountain to climb as Unitarians. We have to uphold the inherent dignity and worth of every human being. Maybe just by doing what we do, in a small way, in a little sparkly way, under an arch, we challenge and we build something different. We keep opening our doors on pride until there is never a need for pride, and there will always be a need, because there will always be somebody coming out. There will always be somebody searching for a faith that enables them to be wholly who they are. Amen. Blessed be. We sing our last hymn, 188, Let love continue long. Thank you, Joe. Before we have our closing words and our closing blessings, I have to do a slight reverse. Sorry, Joe. I forgot to take the offertory. If you have something, some coins or paper, put it in. That would be lovely. We also have a little thing. Thanks. Card reader. One of those. Thank you. The money helps us to do the things like that we did yesterday, and all sorts of other things that we do to help the community, as well as be here on a Sunday. And if you don't have anything, please don't get worried or about it, because you being here is beautiful enough. I will close with this thought, but also a little blessing at the end. The thing we practice here, that we do not need to think alike to love alike, that there is more that binds us than the things that we believe. The hope that the divine light between each of us creates an interdependent web of all existence. The world desperately needs that. So in this faith community, let us practice to be the change we want to see in the world. At times that can be difficult, and we don't always do it well. And yet it is the transformation of humanity that this world needs. I end with this blessing by Cricket Hall. May the drag stage rise to meet you. May the world rise to accept and embrace you. May the rainbow of love enfold you. May your fluidity never be hindered. May your pronouns always be supported and your dead name forgotten. May those you invite into your life remain loyal. May your chosen family lift you up and catch you when you need it. And may you be able to catch others when they need it. May you remember, sensitivity is not a weakness, but instead a great strength welling up inside you. May we all go forth with a renewed hope for love in this world. Happy Pride.
service today and for everything you did yesterday and for everybody who helped to make that possible. Thank you, Joe, for the music, and Simon for the reading, and Stuart for setting up and tech support and cleaning up. And Jeanette has just gone to make tea and coffee. And it's vegan Sunday, so there's vegan cake and muffins, and please stay and have some. Next Sunday, the service will be led by Kieran Marl-Moss, Minister-elect from Belper Unitarians in Derbyshire. On Wednesday this week, between 12:15 and 1, there will be piano music played by Pamela, and that will be followed by quiet reflection by Jennifer. Next Sunday, if you enjoy singing with other people, there will be an opportunity to do that, led by Stuart, who always brings some quirky ideas along, and you can just come and have fun, really. You don't have to be able to sing or think you can't sing. That's 12:45 next Sunday. On Sunday the 17th of August, there will be a picnic celebrating the 205th anniversary of our church, and I think that will be in the Pavilion Gardens if the sun's out. What do you think? You weren't listening, were you?
I've gone off over the rainbow, sorry. I've gone down to Cape Town, sorry. But,
All right.
yes.
There's a
What we
picnic, isn't there?
On the
17th.
anniversary, yes, we have a wondrous service, and then we're going to have a picnic in the grounds of the people that sold us the land.
Yes.
Yes, that's what we're doing. Sorry about that.
That's what I said. And maybe bring something to eat, and not loads because there's always too much food. On the 24th of August, the service will be led by Susie, and it will be a water communion. And she invites any of us who are travelling between now and then, or wandering around Sussex, to bring back some water, sourced from anywhere meaningful, which can be used in the ritual. And that just involves pouring the water together into a large bowl, and this combined water is a symbol of our shared faith coming from different sources. So see what you can find, some nice water from somewhere. On the 31st of August, our friend Tony Tree will be exhibiting some of his photographs, which will be a treat here, in here. Is there a theme, Tony, or is it? Are you going to
I'm just going to hijack.
Yeah.
Now I wasn't paying attention, and now I am.
No, you don't.
Tony Tree did an exhibition back in 2000 to celebrate the millennium, which was called Faith, and he spent a long, long time taking images from lots of faith communities across Brighton and Hove. It's 25 years since that happened, so we're very excited that we're going to be able to have that exhibition resurrected here on the 31st. The service will encompass some of those images and what Tony's been doing with those, because those images are going to be gifted to an archive at Queen's Park Books, so it's one of the last opportunities you get to see them. So that's very exciting. The other thing that I need to say, which that's why I started to get distracted, was next Sunday we've started something called the Contemplative Circle, and it happens once a month on a Sunday at 5. It's a quiet, reflective circle for an hour. So we gather, we light the chalice, say a few words, we have a reading, and then there's a long period of 20 minutes of silent reflection, a bit of sharing, a bit more reflection, and then a closing. So if that's something that you're interested in attending, please ask myself or ask Jen. It's a new thing that we've started, so we're running it for the rest of this year. If the take-up is good, we'll continue it through to 2026.
We were wondering if this time you could try 6
I need to speak to Kat when she comes back, but yeah, that's a possibility. I'll send an email out in the week. If you're not signed to our emails, please let me know, and we can put you on the list. So it'll either be 5 or 6, but do check your email about that. And now it's time for tea. Definitely. Oh no, Tony.
Silent reflection in this church 25 years ago.
Wow. Yay. Excellent. And there's also some photos up there, not, Tony didn't take them. Well, actually, maybe you did take some of them. Anyway, they're photographs of weddings that have happened, same-sex trans weddings that have happened, so you might want to have a look at those whilst you have a cup of tea. That is it. Tea. Tea, tea, tea.